Hey there, folks. Dwayne from Business Hub here, and today we're talking about our 25-day remote sales playbook. If you're like most sales leaders or sales professionals, you're always learning and trying to find the secret sauce to stellar sales results. We've seen it all, haven't we? From door to door, cold calling, marketing lead generation, attending trade shows, referral attempts, to now LinkedIn outreach and social selling, and even YouTubers. It's all there, and everyone's doing something to try to generate new business. Hey, we're all trying to get that next big lead, aren't we? And hey, if we can help you with your sales playbook, well, that just makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Genuinely. So what's our 25-day sales playbook? Well, let me show you. It starts off with good intentions and turns into a simple sales process. The process that we're going to talk about today has 4 stages, beginning with research, then attract, and then nurture, and then finally discover. Now, before you start yelling at me and say, hey, what about closing the sale and presenting your solution? Well, every company's different and every solution's different, so we're going to leave that for another video. Today, we're going to be just talking about how do we get to that point where we have that discovery meeting and earn the prospect's trust. So today we're going to be discussing all the steps and stages included in trying to get us to that one discovery meeting where we can identify whether it's a good fit prospect for us and we're a good fit for them. So the 4 stages are research, attract, nurture, and discover. Like I said earlier, start off with good intentions. That means do your research. Before you pick up the phone or send a LinkedIn connection request, do your research. Ask yourself, who has the problem that my solution solves? Next, you're going to want to define your PFP, your perfect fit prospect, and the criteria of your PFP. So defining your PFP will help you to eliminate wasted time, wasted effort, and reduce your overall negative brand impact by connecting with people that would never buy your product in the first place. Who are the key players or stakeholders? AKA, who's the decision maker? And then who are all the influencers that can help you close the deal? Ask yourself, do they now or will they soon have a problem that my product or service solves? What are their pain points? And what are the benefits of both working with you and purchasing your product or service? Next up, where do you start? Like I said, you start with the problem. Then you want to find out who has that problem. How often will they need your product or service? What will the implication be if they do nothing? Where will they likely go to search for a solution? Or who else is involved that could influence that decision maker's decision? And lastly, do they actually have the budget to pay for whatever it is you're selling? So here's an example. A new startup company just got their seed money to build that amazing new app. The sales team also just signed a 5-year contract with a big automaker to design said app. However, when the CTO checked, they realized they don't have the engineers to fulfill their obligations in the contract. You see, that's a big problem. It's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem. Now, if your company provided software engineers for hire, then you could solve that problem because you'd have experienced engineers that could fill the gap until HR found the resources they needed. You see, that just makes good sense, doesn't it? If you have a PFP that has a problem that your service solves, well, in sales speak, that's a win-win. So let's take a deeper dive into this one. So Sam here is the CTO of a software company. Boom! We've researched the right PFP. Now we need to get their attention. We can do it in so many ways. We could find them on social networks, we could cold call them, we could ask for a business referral from one of our current clients or colleagues if they know Sam. It's 2021, so we can't meet them at a trade show, so we'll have to try to find some other ways to get in front of them and get their attention. So social networks like LinkedIn and Facebook are all good ways to try to get their attention. But we also can't forget about the influencers now, can we? Because let's face it, Sam's a CTO, and she's more than likely a little busy. So who else can we reach out to? Well, we can reach out to Sam's direct supports or one of their subordinates. You know, people that are also involved in the problem. And we want to show them that we know them. You know, we really want to find those triggers that indicate whether they're a good fit for us and we're a good fit for them. Things like, you know, are they hiring? Are they growing or declining? Is there any important news or observations that we can find? That way we can include that in our conversations when we first reach out to them. Okay, so you've got a pretty good idea and your plan's coming together. You know who your PFP is. Now what? Now you just need to figure out what type of company that Sam works for. We call this PFC, Perfect Fit Company. Spending time finding the perfect fit company will help you to, here I go again repeating myself, eliminate wasted time and effort and reduce negative brand impact from reaching out to people that would never purchase your product because the company that they work for don't have the budgets to buy it. So do your homework. So how do you define a perfect fit company? Well, you want to start by segmenting your company by size. How many employees do they have? Are they a small business? Are they a medium-sized business? Are they a large business? Are they enterprise? What industry are they in? You can also look at other criteria like the location and the stage the business is in. So are they a startup like Sam's company? Or are they a growing business? Or are they well established? What type of company are they? See, aren't you already beginning to feel a little bit more confident? Well, you should, because if you've done your homework, then you have a solid business reason to contact Sam or whoever your PFP is. Next, you might want to do a deeper dive and begin to understand your prospect's world a bit better. Like, what do they like and share? And where are they most active online? You could also follow them on Instagram or their business on Facebook. So you've got a lot of information now. You've gathered it all up. Maybe it's sitting in a spreadsheet somewhere. Who knows? But the best place to put that is in a CRM. So you want to take all that information and build your lead list in your CRM. Right? You need to know where you're going to store all that stuff. And the reason why you want to have a CRM is because you want a place to keep a lot of detailed notes. You want to be able to have a place where you can keep content, like links to articles, things like that. And a CRM is a good place to put all that. You also want to consider your sales pipeline. So what are all the stages that we're doing up to this point, right? And how many leads do we have in each stage? So you're going to want to visualize your sales process. And a great place to do that is in a CRM. And it might be possible to automate all those mundane tasks, like, hey, reminding you to send to add more contacts into your lead list, or to contact one of your prospects. So whatever task you have, you could automate that so that you don't ever forget to follow up. Okay, so automate simple tasks, but don't automate your lead generation. Next, you want to start thinking about how you want that person to think about you when you first meet. Let's face it, first impressions are everything. So think about that first connection impression. What are you going to say? Where are you going to say it? How are you going to say it? What do you want your prospect to do? i.e., what are the next steps? You want to write all these points out into talk tracks and get prepared well in advance. Okay, so we're done with the research. We've picked out our PFP. We've picked out the PFCs. We wrote out our talk tracks, and now all we need to do is get noticed. There are a lot of ways to do this, but for this video, we're going to be talking about using LinkedIn outreach. Why? Why LinkedIn outreach? Because at Business Hub, we think it's just a nicer way to do it. Plus, it's what LinkedIn was built for, and a place for business professionals to network. So how do we do it? Well, you start by building a list of your PFPs and your PFCs in LinkedIn. And as a reminder, PFP is Perfect Fit Prospect and PFC is Perfect Fit Company, right? So we want to start building those on LinkedIn. Next, we want to send them a connection request. So listen, a lot of people are getting inundated right now by these automated messages that are happening. So in my opinion, just send the connection request and never mind sending an instant message along with that. And if they see you and they like your profile and they like the company that you work for, then they'll probably add you. And if they don't add you right away, take your time. Don't be spammy. Be nice. Like their posts. Share their posts with your network. Help them first before you ask for anything. And don't forget to send the influencers a connection request too. A lot of people do that. Don't just focus on the decision maker. Now, here's the most important part. You want to show them that you're competent and you're empathetic, aka do the right thing. Be clear about why you want to connect and how you think you can help. Don't forget, you've done your homework and you have a pretty good idea that they have the problem that your solution solves. And hey, if they get mad at you for trying to connect, that's okay. Don't take it personally, it's their loss. You've done your homework, you've done your research, you know that they have a problem that your solution could solve. You're just trying to connect on the place that makes sense to do it, and that's LinkedIn. And if they don't want to connect, that's okay. You can just move on to their competition and help them instead. Don't forget that they may be on other social platforms as well. So you want to check out Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, depending on the type of business that you're trying to connect with and the PFP that you're trying to connect with, right? So this point is important, so important, I'm going to say it twice. Don't get aggressive. If they don't accept your connection right away, that's okay. Just make yourself visible. Be relevant. Only like and share posts that are related to your business and or your values. And be consistent. For crying out loud. Don't just like their post once and then after they accept your connection request, you stop liking their post. Keep liking their posts. Be nice. And now we're on to nurture. So you got noticed and that's great. Now you got to keep that momentum up by nurturing the PFP. Just like watering a seed, you need to nurture the prospect and begin to build likability and trust. Okay, so give yourself a big pat on the back because your PFP just accepted your connection request. Now what? Well, if you did your homework back in the research section, then you're ready to go. Why? Because you wrote out all your talk tracks, remember? What do you want to say? How do you want them to feel about you? How are you going to say it? What are the next steps? You wrote it all out, so you know what you need to say to them. So start by thanking them for accepting your connection request. And be nice. Don't ask for anything. Next, wait for them to respond. And be nice. Be a human. Have an actual conversation. Do not, I can't say this enough, do not automate this task. I can't be more clear on this point. Okay? Hey, and read their response and respond accordingly. Don't send an automatic message. Be a human being. It's not that hard. Next, follow up with a very clear and straightforward message explaining how you're going to help them with their problem, and then ask them if they're experiencing that problem now. If they are, suggest that you both meet via a quick call. If they're not, ask for permission and to see if it would be okay if you could check back in later. Remember, Sam's a busy CTO, and they may not be checking their LinkedIn a lot, so don't get all upset if they're not responding right away. Just give them a nudge by liking their post and be nice. If all else fails, you can always reach out to one of the influencers. Boom! You got the meeting. Good for you. Remember, this meeting is not about you. It's all about them. The goal is to try to uncover if they're a good fit for you and a good fit for them. So everything you've done up to this point is all surface level. And now you have the opportunity to do a deep dive. So I have this buddy named Paul, and he always says, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So all the hard work has paid off and led you to this point. You did your research on your PFP and your PFC. You wrote out all your talk tracks. You gathered up all the contact information about your PFP and PFC that you could find, and you added that into your CRM. You made lots of notes about all the different contacts that you've made via the DMs. You set up a task to remind yourself to get noticed and nurture the prospect, and you had a few quick conversations. You see, you're doing it the right way, and it paid off in the end. The Needs to Find meeting, aka the discovery call. It's booked now. Now what do? Well, to start, if you did your job right, you took lots of notes and you copied it all under the prospect's file in your CRM. So review it. Write up a summary statement for when you meet. You want to prepare the qualifying questions that you need to ask, and then guess what? All you have to do now is just make the call and ask the questions. And be casual, right? And you're trying to find out if they have the problem now that your product or service solves. So just ask the questions. You've done your homework, you should feel confident at this point. So good luck with the call and good luck with the meeting, and hopefully at the end of the call you found out that they're a good fit for you and you're a good fit for them, and you're moving on to the next stage, which is putting together a solution and sending it over to them. So to quickly sum it up, the best SDRs take a human approach. They use the RAND system. They research, they attract, they nurture, and they discover, and they do it all in a nice way. Well, I guess that's it, folks. Thanks for spending time with us today. Hopefully you've learned a lot about our 25-day sales playbook, but if you'd like to take a test drive, book a no obligation call and we'll show you how. All you have to do is click the link below, head over to our website. There'll be a contact form over there. Fill out the form and one of our account managers will get back to you shortly. Thanks a lot and have a great day. Bye for now.